Sup babes, how are we going? So I'm really focusing a lot at the moment on weight loss, weight management because a lot of people ask me heaps of questions about it. So I'm going to create a video today, and you know what? It's going to be quite controversial, and probably not as controversial as my anti-vaccine views, but nonetheless, there'll be a lot of nutritionists, a lot of personal trainers, a lot of people who are spruiking diets, whether they're qualified or not, for people for weight loss, will probably disagree with things that I'm about to say. So take it with a grain of salt. As everything, I'm all about you tuning in to your body and working out what's best for your body because we're all very, very different. And the key component to this thing is that, as you probably know, I've been doing a lot of work on studying feminine energy, doing a lot of work on, I guess, sacred feminine art and all that sort of stuff as well. So this is, I guess, a spiritual, emotional element to our physical being. And I'm really anti having specific, detailed, rigid eating plans that people should follow. It's not the way women should be eating. Women are supposed to eat based on their divine energy, their divine feminine flow, based on what they're feeling every single day, and that is going to change every single day. So when you're following a strict eating plan that says at 8 a.m. eat this, at 10 a.m. eat this, at 1 p.m. eat this, and you follow that same plan every single day, it is not going to work for you because you're really forcing and trying to control something in a masculine way of being. Women are supposed to just kind of check in every single day. How am I feeling today? Because there are so many things with a woman's body that does change, particularly our menstrual cycle. So we are supposed to consume more calories in the lead up to our period and while we have our period. Depending on how much exercise you're doing on a day-to-day basis, it's going to change your calorie intake. Depending on how much sleep you get the night before, it's going to change your calorie intake. Depending on your emotional well-being, there are so many different factors. So if you are kind of forcing yourself to eat by the clock because a nutritionist or a dietitian or whatever well-meaning person put you on a rigid plan that says eat 30 grams of chicken at this time and 150 grams of broccoli at this time, it's not going to work. It goes against everything that the law of your feminine energy is basically asking for. And, you know, because I've been sharing a lot about lately that I do follow what's an intermittent fasting general plan, which as a general rule, I'll get up and have a cold pressed juice. I'll have my 1 litre of water with lemon juice in it every morning. And then about 12 o'clock every day I'll have lunch. But having said that, that'll be probably 5 days a week. There are random days when I feel starving hungry by 10 a.m. So we should never ever ignore the body. We should be listening to the body. Your body will give you hunger signals when your brain is needing more glucose, when your muscles are needing more glucose, when the biological function of your body has changed, your metabolism has changed and you need calories. We should never ever ever eat just because the clock says it to. And I go on a lot about this in regards to breakfast. You know, it's so drummed into us that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and I'm like, bullshit, it's not. All food is important for you when your body needs it if it's the right type. So, you know, a lot of people will eat just because, oh, I better eat something before I go to work. Well, are you actually hungry? And I know it's hard because you might be going to a job where you won't get an opportunity to eat later on. But if you're not hungry, at the very least, have something very, very light, like a juice or a smoothie or something light. Because if you're eating when your body's not ready for food, when your body doesn't want food, I guarantee you that's going to lead to you putting on weight. So rigid plans should never be a thing. It should be about women checking in, feeling in and going, what is it that I need to eat today? You know, and that goes for some days you might be craving meat. Some days you might not. I mean, I don't eat meat. I don't ever crave meat. But you know what? If my body started craving meat, then I probably would. I don't think it will now. I've been a vegetarian for over 5 years. But it's the point is there's no such thing as forcing yourself to be on a particular eating plan. It's all about what feels good for you. And that is subject to change month in, month out, day in, day out, year in, year out. And that's the most important thing that I teach you, Balance Babes. It's about tuning in and checking in with your body because there's actually nothing I can tell you about your body that your body isn't actually already telling you. It's a matter of stopping, listening, and then following in. It's trial and error. And a lot of people say, well, what is it what am I supposed to be eating? How do I know? And it all comes back to experimenting and keeping diet diaries and checking in. And maybe you might go, oh, I wonder if being vegan is good for me. You might follow that for minimum. I don't think you can make a decision about anything for a minimum of 6 weeks, really. But follow that plan. Take notes day in, day out. Now, there's going to be, especially with a beautiful diet like a vegan diet that's plant-based, you're going to have a degree of detoxification that's going to kick in the beginning. So you're going to have some side effects. So document them all out. Like I said, give it a minimum of 6 weeks before you would actually make a decision about that, whether it works for you or not. It is patience. I mean, I've been evolving my diet and the foods that I eat. I'm 36 now, And so really for the last 10 years since graduating as a naturopath nutritionist, I've been really tweaking and changing my diet and just changing and tuning in. And this is what we need to do. Different stages of our life, you know, pregnancy versus going through menopause versus through when you're younger and more active, and all these things will play a factor. So my message is let go of rigid diet plans, let go of forcing yourself to eat in a certain way, let go of thinking I need an eating plan. It's learning what to eat yourself, and that comes from obviously, well, yeah, nutritional education, but in all honesty, nutrition's a little bit of common sense. Like, what I mean by that is, you know, whole foods, eating fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, meats if you're a meat eater, staying away from processed packaged foods, staying away from excess amounts of dairy, staying away from all those, you know, trans fatty acids, anything that's really heavily processed is never going to be that nutritionally sound for you. The more fruits and veggies and superfoods that you can get in your diet is going to always be the right thing. So, if you guys want more information on diet and nutrition, please start asking the questions, and I will create videos, I will share recipes, I will share examples of the things that I eat. But the most important thing for you to know is that it's got to be something that checks in on a day-to-day basis. I really think that a lot of women, they put themselves on rigid eating plans and they stick to them to a T, and then they wonder why they're not losing weight. And it's because you're eating against the natural desire and urges and requirements of your body. Women are not supposed to be rigid, we're supposed to be flexible. Now, if you are someone that follows a really rigid diet plan and you have your 3 meals mapped out every day or your 5 meals mapped out and it's working for you, by all means keep going with it. That obviously suits your body type. Your body can easily adapt into that masculine way of eating, no worries, and probably you're more feminine in other areas of your life and you have that balance. But if you're following a strict eating plan and you're not losing weight, stop and just mess it up a little bit, relax a little bit, wake up that morning and don't just think I have to eat because it's wake up time. Scull a litre of water and do that for a couple of hours and actually wait till you actually get those hunger signals. Experiment with different types of breakfast. Now you can experiment with a big, dense, heavy breakfast that could be eggs basted or even meat basted or cooked meals or beans and stuff like that if you're plant based. Or try having just a cold pressed juice and then maybe an hour or two later having more food. You've got to experiment in every sense of the word, because you'll never know what's right for you until you start playing with it. Now obviously I talk about this a lot in my book, Balanced Babes, in chapter 11 or 12. Nailing Nutrition, it's called. And it's a process for helping you design and understand, and process for connecting in with the body and understanding what is right for you. So please drop any questions you have. But that's my view on it. I don't think women in our feminine energy should be forcing ourselves to stick to rigid diets. Never worked for me. And I have a lot of clients who I look at their diet, I'm like, yeah, well, your diet's fine, but why are you 10 kilos overweight and can't shift it? Because you're trying to force against the natural flow of your feminine energy. Mwah. Oh, I can't stop it. Something's come up on my